Have you ever heard of Molly or ecstasy at a party? Well, it's basically a psychoactive drug that makes people feel euphoric and emotional warmth. Let's have a general idea about its powerful effect.
Do you I know you're not allowed to say it. The drugs are kind of cool. I mean, they're cool before they wreck.
MDMA can affect the brain by increasing the activity of several different chemical messengers used by brain cells. Similar to amphetamines, MDMA can enhance the release of these neurotransmitters and/or block their reuptake. This can result in an increase in neurotransmitter within the synaptic cleft. The synaptic cleft is a space between two neurons that act as a junction to connect two or more neurons together. MDMA can cause a greater release of serotonin, norepinephrine, and dopamine. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter that is responsible for regulating mood, sleep, pain, appetite, and other behaviors. The excess release of this neurotransmitter is what allows people to experience the mood-elevating effects of MDMA. Although this may sound beneficial, releasing large amounts of serotonin can cause a significant depletion of this important neurotransmitter. This can lead to more negative effects. Low serotonin is also associated with poor memory and depressed mood. Many individuals who use MDMA regularly experience confusion, depression, anxiety, paranoia, and impaired memory and attention. MDMA can also affect dopamine levels, which is a neurotransmitter that is associated with one's ability to feel pleasure, satisfaction, and motivation. It also causes an excess of norepinephrine, which increases heart rate, blood pressure, and alertness, all of which contributes to the cognitive impairment and euphoria that comes with the use of MDMA. Using MDMA regularly can wear down the fibers in the hippocampus, the part of the brain that's responsible for storing and retaining information. Extensive use of MDMA can cause individuals to experience memory loss. These PET images, for example, show brain regions in which decreased regional glucose metabolism was significantly correlated with low memory performance in 19 recreational MDMA users. The long-term effects of MDMA do not stop with the brain. The synthetic drug can also affect the way that the body functions. MDMA can be extremely dangerous when it is mixed with other substances such as caffeine, ketamine, LSD, cocaine, or other stimulant psychoactive drugs. Serotonin syndrome is a drug reaction that results from buildup of high levels of serotonin in the body, and it can increase one's risks of tremors, convulsions, and seizures. MDMA also limits the body's ability to regulate temperature and makes it more prone to hypothermia. Regular usage of MDMA can also cause one's heart to stop functioning properly and can easily trigger heart attacks. MDMA was first synthesized by German chemists in 1912 while developing other medicines that could stop bleeding, which was then patented by famous pharmaceutical company Merck in 1914. During the 1950s, the Army Chemical Warfare Service MK-Ultra was looking for mind control drugs. Alexander Shulgin then resynthesized MDMA and experimented on himself, which then concludes that MDMA has a powerful potential for psychotherapy. Some psychiatrists began using MDMA as a psychotherapeutic tool during the 1970s. But by the 1980s, ecstasy or Molly, which is MDMA, had become more widely known as the party drugs. However, in 1985, MDMA as part of the drug war, the United States outlawed MDMA under Controlled Substances Act as a Schedule I drug like LSD and heroin, which means that it has high potential of abuse and no real medical value. But it was recently discovered that MDMA has the potential to treat PTSD. The chemical name of Molly is MDMA or 3,4-methylene-dioxymethamphetamine. It is a member of the class benzoyldioxys and also a member of amphetamines. Due to the presence of phenyl group here, it is insoluble in water, and therefore it is usually sold in the form of hydrochloride salts. Notice that the structure of sulfur and MDMA is really similar. It only differs by the presence of double bonds here and the presence of amine group MDMA. Therefore, sulfur can be used to synthesize MDMA, which was described in the original Merck patent in 1914. Start with the sulfur bromination. Sulfur was reacted with hydrobromic acid to form bromosulfurol, which was then converted to MDMA using methylamine substitution.
MDMA is a derivative of amphetamines and is very structurally similar. Generic amphetamines consist of three major functional groups: an amine group, a methyl group, and a benzene ring. Here you can see that MDMA has a secondary amine, a methyl group, and a benzene ring. The main distinction that separates MDMA from amphetamines is the presence of a methylene dioxide group on the carbon 3 and 4 of the benzene ring. This chemical is similar to the hallucinogenic molecule mescaline. MDMA concentrations are noticeable in the bloodstream after 30 minutes of ingestion and reach a maximal concentration after 1.5 to 3 hours. They are then slowly metabolized by cytochrome P450, enzyme CYP2D6, and enzyme CYP3A4 into MDA, HMMA, HMA, DHA, and several other metabolites that induce the psychoactive effects of MDMA. They then agonistically bind to the serotonin 5-HT2 receptor and induce rapid serotonin release in the synapse. MDMA also acts on the serotonin transporters and promotes the release of serotonin via transporter-mediated exchange. Additionally, dopamine and norepinephrine are released through a similar mechanism. MDMA can also inhibit monoamine reuptake by inhibiting monoamine oxidase, which further contributes to its psychological effects. Due to MDMA's quick onset of action and long duration, it is commonly used at nightclubs, dance parties, and raves. Demographically, it is abused by males between ages of 18 to 25. Studies also show that gays and bisexual men and women are more likely to abuse MDMA than other people. Although MDMA may have a pleasurable effect, it can also be detrimental to one's health. Overdose on MDMA includes intense sympathomimetic responses, thermoregulatory, neurological, and electrolyte disturbances. It can also lead to seizures, comas, psychiatric symptoms, and even death. While MDMA is still effective in the body, it causes jaw clenching, hypoglycemia, hyponatremia, and serotonin toxicity.
Because of this, there are a lot of compounds that are similar to it, chemically, and also similar functions. So MDMA is a derivative of methamphetamine, and its parent compound is amphetamine. So ecstasy, one of the names MDMA is colloquially referred to. Also MDA, that's a similar compound as well. The thing about MDMA, though, is that different from methamphetamine or amphetamines in this family in the way that the methylene dioxide group has position 3 and 4 to the aromatic ring.